to lead us in the harmonica?
Absolutely, absolutely. Ka. Them. Ja. Ko. Sie. They.
Take your ka and your ja and sync them together as you spin them forward into blurs of sparkling light. Ka ja. Backwards. Horizontal clockwise. Counterclockwise. Ka ja. Vertical clockwise. Counterclockwise. Ka ja. Perfect sync and harmony. Add the Z. Z ka ja. Forward. Backwards. Horizontal clockwise. Counterclockwise. Vertical clockwise. Counterclockwise. Si ka ja, in perfect sync, in perfect harmony together.
Before we begin the prayer, I'd like to connect all of our hearts. So I am going to read off everybody's name so we can picture where we are in the circle.
Okay.
I'm sending a golden cord from my heart to Ambrosman, to Sky, and then we have Kiel, Amina, Doncha, Lalith, Tom, and Reggie. So this is where you are in the circle, and we're just going to feel the love that we have for one another, the unconditional love, and feel all of those people in our lives who we love, and we feel that beautiful loving feeling in our heart, and we just are going to send it around the circle so that we can feel each other's energy and feel the love that we have for one another. And now we're going to, as we're connected, we're going to take the 3 deep breaths to relax our bodies. So we'll take the first breath, deep breath in. And as we let the air out, we're just going to relax every part of our body, let go of the world, let go of our worries or anything that is clouding our minds. We just release and let it go. Take another breath. And as we let it out, we just release. let go. Another breath. And release. So we're totally relaxed and feeling that love energy. So now we're going to expand that love out to fill the earth. So we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to spin our auras, as I explained before, where we spin it faster and faster and faster at the bottom of our breath. As we're letting our air out, we spin that, our auras, we condense it, we draw our auras in and we're spinning it and spinning it. And then we can push it out. So let's picture ourselves again, holding hands in our circle. We're connected with our hearts. We're going to take a deep breath. Now, as we let it out, we're concentrating our auras, we're pulling it in and we're spinning them faster and 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 faster. Now take a quick breath in. And expand out so that we fill the entire earth with our energy, our love, that we can touch anything and anyone with our spirit. And as we do so, let's feel the unconditional love and gratitude that we have for this beautiful world that we live in. Think of all the plants that not only sustain us, but shelter us, heal us. We're so grateful to have such plentiful foliage, such beauty to the eye and fulfillment. We're also so grateful for all the animals who bring balance to the earth. Let's send unconditional love to them and be open to receiving it back from whoever sends it. But as we think of the animals, picture all those that you have contact with, or that you see in your world or in your space, in your area of the world, and expand that out to include all the animals in the world, all those that come to mind. Send them your unconditional love and just feel the love that they have for their loved ones, their offspring, and that they have feelings too. And feel that heartbeat of each other and the earth. We're connected to everything. And we're so grateful. We're so thankful to Elohim for providing us with such amazing, such an amazing world. And we feel that love circling around and just revel in that feeling of love, that we're filling the earth with our love. Okay, now slowly bring back your aura to your body. And now take another deep breath. And let it out as we spin our auras faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Quick breath. Now we're going to expand out beyond the earth, bringing that love with us, and now feeling the expansiveness of space and just reveling in that feeling of weightlessness. Even though it's cold, we're in our protective bubble, we're warm, and we feel the heat of the sun and the stars. We feel the energies of the planets around us. We're so grateful. Bring our auras back in. Another deep breath. Okay. Draw our auras in and spin them faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Breath in. We're going to expand out further and further and further until we are in the Celestine realm, kneeling before our heavenly parents. And Kiel.
Dear Heavenly Father and Mother Elohim, we thank you to be able to come together today as brothers and sisters of light. And we thank you for having this technology in order to be able to do this from all over the world. And we ask you to please guide us in your light in all that we do. And we ask that you please help us to remember all that we learned today and to be able to put this information that we learned to use in our lives. And we ask this in the name of our brother Yeshua. So be it.
So be it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brother Kiel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And thank you, Sister Samara.
Oh, Sister
That
Zandy.
was amazing. Thank you.
Is Andy here?
She's joining right now.
Awesome.
Hello, Sister Zandy.
Hello, Sister Zandy. We've missed you.
She may not be able to talk to us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still connecting to audio.
Yeah.
There we go. Hello, Sister Zandy.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
Okay, so today, a couple things to talk about. First of all, before I forget, Brother Kiel, you weren't at our meeting yesterday or last week, and we had these stones we're going to be giving out for
Okay.
Luminaire. We'll be sending one to everybody, and these very special stones. We went, Samara and I, on a trip to the ocean to get these particular stones, and the white stripes that you see going through it's gray basalt with white stripes going through it. The white stripes are magic mineral calcite, which will fluoresce red under an ultraviolet light, long wave ultraviolet light. And these are going to be particularly enchanted to, and this is what one of the topics that we're going to talk about today. These are going to be enchanted to help all of you learn how to do enchantments better and be able to do those enchantments better. So, in Celestine Light, one of the things that we want to be able to teach you is to be empowered as much as you can possibly be in your life. And one of those ways is to be able to do your own enchantments, because there's all these magical energies, and all these lines that you see on the stone are representing all the different magical energies that are flowing all around us all the time. But if you can't sense them and pull the ones in that you want, then it's a lot more challenging to do a good enchantment. But if you can sense them and you can call in the one you want and pull it in, just like you would sense an aura, then your enchantments can be very powerful. And one of the things we'll talk about later today is how to do enchantments more. We'll give you some examples of that. One of the things I want to talk about today is it's whenever you have religions, and some are more liberal or more strict than others, but there's oftentimes a lot of rules. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do this and that. And some religions and some people tend to want to get very strict on that. If you don't do this exactly the way you're supposed to, you're doing it wrong, and you're going to get in trouble, and you're not doing it right, and we're going to kick you out of the church or whatever. So I want to be very clear on the way we as Celestines should be. So yes, we have wonderful guidance, especially for diet, things that we would eat and drink. But we're also, a very key part of being a Celestine is that we're not fanatics. Okay, that's so important. So, for instance, I think we've told this story before, some of you might have heard it, but we're vegetarians or pescatarians, meaning we eat fish. So one of those two, that's our normal way of being, but we're not fanatics about it to the point that we're going to ruin relationships or stuff over it. So as an example, we were invited to some friends' house who we knew we were vegetarians because we had them over our house for dinner before, and they knew we were vegetarians. We thought, but apparently the lady forgot it. So when we went to have dinner, and she said, "Oh, well, look, this is what I made for dinner tonight," and it was some kind of chicken dish, and the only other thing to eat was a little bit of salad. So it's a chicken dish and a little bit of salad, and so we were like, "Uh-oh, what do we do here?" And really quickly, we realized that we had a choice. We could strictly say, "Well, we're just vegetarians. We're just not going to eat that chicken," which would offend our friend who had made it for us. Or we could say, for this one meal, we're going to eat a little bit of chicken. And so that's what we did. And that's not being fanatical about the belief and practice of being vegetarian or pescatarian. So for that little bit of time, and we put it on our plate, and I ate some chicken. I don't even know if they ate any chicken. They might have put it on the plate, just ate the pasta that was with it.
I think I ate a little. It was awful for me to do that. I'll never.
Yeah, but to avoid situations like that, don't assume anything.
Right.
Most people, if you let them know that these are your dietary preferences, that they will honor them. And we don't typically get invited over to many places because people no, oh, well, they can't eat that, they can't eat that, they can't eat that.
But the main point is that when push came down to shove, what's more important in this case was our relationship with our friends versus maybe damaging that relationship by saying, "Well, thank you, but we're not going to eat that." And that's all she had prepared. I mean, there wasn't anything else for dinner. So,
Right, it would have run the whole evening.
yeah, the energy that would have been put in that, not just that evening, would probably carry forth from that point on as friends, would have been very damaging. And so, and then, another type of thing that we look at is, well, you don't drink alcohol, take drugs, drink coffee, or anything like that that have caffeine in them. But that's, again, you don't have to be fanatical about that. It's okay to drink a cup of coffee in the morning. It's okay to drink a little teeny bit of alcohol if you need that, not a huge amount, but it's like a swig of alcohol. So if you need that to just calm down after a long day. I mean, we're humans, and sometimes we might need those things almost as a medicinal type of thing. You stayed up late at night and you have to go to work in the morning and you got 3 hours sleep. And if you're going to be able to function in the morning, you've got to have some kind of stimulant to help you out there. And so that's not being fanatical. It's not saying that every day you drink 3 cups of coffee. No, that would not be Celestine at all, because you're going to be hurting your body to do that. But on a time, well, hey, I need to take a test today at school, or I need to give a presentation at work, and I'm half asleep because I didn't get any sleep last night. It's
Or
not
even if
fanatical
you
to
did
take-
get plenty of sleep, if you're giving a presentation, sometimes it's helpful because it helps your mind. A stimulant will stimulate your mind as well. So
The point is that you're not fanatical. If you have a need for some small amount of thing that you don't normally take as a Celestine, that's fine. And even if it's the point of every morning you have a little cup of coffee, that's okay. It's like you don't have to do that. I'm not encouraging everyone to do that, but if that's something that helps your day to flow with ease, it's not hurting you as a Celestine to do that. So anyway, did anybody have any questions about this topic? Because I think I don't know if I explained it well or not, but
No, it was good. I'm glad. Sometimes people tend to be fanatics about a lot of things. I knew some vegetarians who were like, I'm like, yes, okay, that's nice. Okay, that's good. Yeah. But, at the same time, you have to be flexible. What I'm taking, the takeaway here is learn to be flexible, right? Learn to be flexible with yourself and learn to be good with yourself and know what you need to do, And it's kind of interesting because the concoction that you get, you have the medicine that you gave us to create for astral traveling and lucid dreaming has alcohol in it, right? It has alcohol to preserve the
And a
the the
narcotic.
yeah, and it has narcotic in it too.
That's illegal in some parts
Yeah,
of the world.
absolutely, right. So that in itself basically let us know that it's about being flexible and using these things for medicinal needs, right? As long as you use it for medicinal means and be flexible, that's the key. It's everything, because we are in a social setting, right? And we're already weird as we are, right? So we can't be any weirder than we have to be. So sometimes we got to blend in the social settings at times, even though it might be, compromising to us, where it shouldn't be compromising. But it's all about being flexible to allow us to blend in like chameleons, at the same time still stick with our integrity and our values.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well put.
Yeah.
And, that actually leads into the next topic that's related to that is if you aren't flexible and if you aren't balanced and willing to be a little not exactly the same in every situation, what'll happen is people tend to become it's like they're sour. They get sour, and they because they're so inflexible, they're also inflexible with themselves, and they beat up on themselves because we're human. We make mistakes. We have weaknesses, and so what happens if someone is very strict and they never want to deviate at all from that, then they end up beating themselves up when they do, because they always do. They're going to slip up at some point. And then, oh, I'm a terrible person. I didn't do this. I'm awful. I'm terrible. I'm bad. No, you're human. And so as Celestines, we seek to be the best we can be. But a part of that journey is understanding that we're not perfect and we're not going to be perfect. And that we have to be able to be flexible and adjust as the situation needs it, whether it's a situation with other people or just a situation with ourselves. I wake up, I can't even remember my name. I guess I better have a cup of coffee. So anyway, the next thing I want to talk about, unless there's more questions or comments on this subject here.
No, everything is good. I just have a beautiful example. If I may, 1 or 2 minutes.
Please.
Well, being flexible, as Brother Reggie said, and you, dear Ambrosevin, Alex has a big family. So whenever we go to Sunday family meal, they all eat meat, but me and Alex, we are vegetarians. I am vegetarian, Alex is pescatarian, and all other eat meat. And we just dine in the same table. So I don't go all around spilling blood and yelling at them, why do you eat meat? No, we join at the same table. They eat meat. I eat only rice or mushrooms, and Alex eat also fish. So his mom prepares 3 different meals, but it's all in a beautiful family atmosphere. So I can be vegetarian, Alex can be pescatarian, all others can eat whatever they want. It's all about not ruining the energy and the love between. And on being just a human, we also need to tell or to teach our clients, our students, that we are humans too. Yes, I can have a cup of coffee every once in a while because I need to teach you, but I first need to wake up. So I get a lot of situation when somebody judges me for doing some ordinary human things. Well, I'm not levitating in a white robe, spelling out the oracles. I'm just human eating a cup of
Not yet.
not yet. Well, yeah, sometimes I can yell if someone is wrong. Sometimes I can quarrel, and if I must defend very furiously at something, as I am sometimes very emotional about something, I can just yell a bit, but that's that's all in a good cause, because we are beautiful spirit that do need to have human experiences.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's why we're
Yeah.
here, have human experiences. That's one of the reasons. Anybody else want to say anything about this subject? Okay, next subject is, again, when I look at all of us that are here and we edify each other, but also we want to help each other to learn to be empowered in our personal lives, in every aspect of our personal lives. One of those ways that we can do that we want to be able to make sure everyone understands how to do it themselves, are to do enchantments and spells, calling in those magical energies. That's why everybody's getting one of these rocks for Luminaire, enchanted rocks that are specifically to help you be able to sense the magical energies that you need to call when you want to do a spell or enchantment. Now, why would you want to do a spell or enchantment? What would be the purpose of that? There's a lot of magical schools and things out there, and they teach all kinds of things that are really misuse of magic as far as I'm concerned. And true magic should be something that is beneficial to you and detrimental to no one else. And one of the nice things about doing spells or enchantments for yourself is you can call in those special energies that you might need. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is up here. Okay. All right, so this is an example of a simple enchantment. Now, this was a custom enchantment that we did for someone that they sent us something to be enchanted. I think, or is this something else? Anyway, I can't remember. No, I guess it wasn't for one particular person, but this is how we're starting with. So we're enchanting an object, and we start with the angels. So you have all the angels that are in the angel book, which I hope all of you have that book. And then, of course, in our meetings, we've given probably 100 new angels that you don't have in the book. You may see. So whatever the purpose of the pendant or whatever it is that's being enchanted is for, you need to find the angels that have anything that's related to that purpose. So let's see what the purpose is first. Before we even look at this, look at that, let's go down here and see the purposes, what we're actually calling them in. We wanted to give self-confidence, vitality and stamina, clarity, energy. So these are the type of things that are going to be in this enchantment or spell. So then we want to find the angels that apply to that subject. So we have the angel of hidden power, the angel of self-empowerment, the angel of courage, the angel of Quo Key Energy Center, angel of the Whiz Key Energy Center, angel of action, angel of self-confidence, angel of willpower, angel of energy and vitality, angel of physical strength. Okay, so now we know what the angels are going to use. And so the next thing we're going to do is, well, what words of power are related to this? So we go through the words of power book, which everybody should have. And again, we've added many others that we've told in these classes that are not in the book. But we want to find, again, what words of power are going to be appropriate. So these numbers pertain to numbers in the book, Words of Power and Transformation. If it has an asterisk by it, that means that's a word of power that is not in the book, and that's why there's no number. So become more self-confident and empowered, increase physical strength, energy, and vitality, gain what you need to overcome an emergency, coalesce, concentrate, and amplify your auric power, gain more courage. So now these are the components. We have all the components together. So we have the angels, we have the words of power. Now we need to actually say in a rhyming way what it is we want this spell or enchantment to accomplish and how we're calling in. So first we have to call in, very important, you sense the energies you need that are related to these subjects, the magical energies that are out there flowing in the universe, and we call them in. You're doing that by your priesthood power, by your priesthood authority, you're calling them in, you're coalescing the following specific energies that as we command, you're not asking here, you're commanding, so it shall be, to the nth degree. So first step is you're calling it in, And then you're saying specifically what it is that you're calling in, and there's multiple things in this particular enchantment. You may have enchantment that just has one thing, and that's all you're calling in, and that's fine. Or you may have multiple ones. Generally, unless you're very adept at doing enchantments and spells, you want to try to have just one purpose so that all the magical energy is focused into that spell or object that you're enchanting for that purpose, and it's not diluted by having multiple things it has to do. Okay, so looking at this now, the rhyme is very important. There's a website called rhymezone.com, rhymezone.com. You want, when you're doing enchantments and spells, you want rhymezone.com to be one of your best friends, because as you write what it is you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, you're writing it down, you're trying to put it into a very concise form. The more concise, the better. In that, you also want it to have some rhyme. Rhyme is like a magical way of concentrating and amplifying energy. So rhyme is very important, but it also has to make sense. It has to be rhyme that goes with what you're trying to say. And that can be a huge challenge to do. Rhyme Zone can help you out. You'll find a word that you think is going to be the ending of a sentence, and you want a rhyme to go for the next sentence, and you look on Rhyme Zone and you find, whoa, there's like no words at all that rhyme with that word. And so that means you have to reconstruct your sentence into some kind of different format so that it ends with a word that does have other words that you could choose as a rhyme that would go with it. So let's just go look through this now, as if we were going to do it. Now here's 3 key words: Raksa, Bingalai, Tormande. Raksa, Bingalai, Tormande. What that does, if you think about, let's look at this stone again. Think about, oops, you can't see it because it's not on the share. Okay, so think about the stone with all these magical energies going as lines in a very chaotic way all around. Some of them may be straight lines, some of them may be curved lines. They're going all over, they're all around. And okay, it's just chaos out there trying to find the magical energy you want. Even when you know which one you want, trying to sense it and pull it in is really hard. And most people, they'll try and they will have 0 success. They won't feel anything, they won't sense anything, they just won't be able to do it. So this enchanted rock that we're going to be sending you, you want to make sure you have that with you whenever you're doing an enchantment or spell, because that'll help you find those magical energies. But more important than that, you want to be able to, hold on a second, let me see if I can get this back. Okay. All right. You want to be able to use the Raksa Bingalai Tormande. What that does, it takes all those chaotic energies that are just flowing all around, and it just makes them, boom, all straight lines. So it becomes much easier to find the one you want. So when you say Raksa Bingalai Tormande, and you do that 3 times with power, you're making all the chaotic energy get all of a sudden organized. It's organized now. And now it's super easy to find the one that you want and pull it in. I'm gonna see if okay, so where were we? All right, so is this making sense at this point?
Yes, it is to me. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so
Dr. Whistle Array
Thank you. Thank you for this.
doing the rhymes. He's
so
well,
speak about it, talk about it.
well, yeah, remember he in the book of angels is the angel Whistle Array. And I always call in Whistle Array before I start doing my rhymes because he's very helpful. In fact, sometimes I usually start them without him backtracking here because I like to see how far I can get on my own. And then I call him in, I say, okay, here's what I've got. Can you tweak it? Is there something better? And it's like, it'll just come to me. I mean, I won't hear him speaking and say, do this or that. It's like, it'll just pop in my head. Oh, I need to do this, or this would be better, or this word is going to be rhyming better. And he's invaluable for me when I do any kind of that.
So I have a question.
Okay.
With the stone that you're gonna give us, will this stone be multi-purposeful, meaning that you could use this stone more than once for different enchantments? Because I
Oh,
know,
yeah, it's permanent. Yeah, you can use it for any enchantment, any spell. Its purpose is solely to be able to help you sense the energies, magical energies that you need, that you're trying to call in, that you'll be able to more easily sense them and pull them in and coalesce them and imbue them into the object that you want. So it's basically like a lighthouse. It's going
Got
to
it.
find what you need and guide you to where you want to go.
So let's say I'm doing an enchantment for good fortune, right? You know, abundance and good fortune, right? I could get all the angels together, put it together, and I have like some I don't know, like a dragon pendant, right? I could enchant that, and I'll use that stone as a vehicle to coalesce the energy like a lighthouse to that stone quickly and effectively, and then use that stone. The next day, I use the same stone for wisdom and intuition, right? I call on the angels. I use that same stone to coalesce that into whatever object I want to create my wisdom and intuition and all that. Is that correct?
Perfect, exactly right. So,
Aha, got it. Makes sense now. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brother Reggie, as you
Yeah.
remember, it's the same with the astropilot
Yes.
that we
Right.
that Brother and Rosalind, they do have a beautiful sphere astropilot, and they
Yeah.
use it for their beacon for
Right.
all the
That's right.
magical energies.
Thank you, Sister. That's right. Thank you.
well,
Yes.
the astrophyllite, that particular astrophyllite has a greater purpose than that even. That's an amplifier stone. This is not an amplifier stone that we're sending you. This is a lighthouse stone. It's one that's calling in and guiding you to the energies that you're seeking. The astrophyllite yes, it does that as well, but much more so, it's an amplifier stone. That's its main purpose, to amplify those energies. So whenever you're putting something, making a spell or enchantment, whatever the purpose is, the power that's in it is amplified.
And that stone works like if you can wear it, anything you do, doesn't it help anything you tend to want to do? That astrophyllite will help amplify whatever you're working with. If you're painting something or singing or something.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that we had specially done at Kawanda.
Yeah,
So, yeah, no, it's not for that purpose,
Oh, okay.
really. Not really. Okay, so going on. Let's go back to share screen. Okay, so here we are back at this purpose. So we're going to go through this as if we were doing this, but not the whole thing. We're just going to give you little snippets of it.
One angel that's not on here that we have started calling in before we do any enchantment is the angel Iziron. That's not in the book. Do you want to write that down?
I don't think we.
Izzoron.
I think it's
A. Izzaron. Iziron.
Iziron. Yeah, his specialty is coalescing magical energies. So that he's an important angel for you to help you find those energies. So that's another tool. Right?
And this actually shows the importance of this particular aspect of doing magic. Is we have different things from the stone that you're going to be getting, from Iziron, from Roxah Bingala Tormande. All of these things, their whole purpose is to be able to call in, seek, find, discover, use the magical energies you actually need. And you'll see if you've studied any kind of magical schools of other places, they don't do that. They say all kinds of fancy words and have all kinds of rituals and everything like that. But at no point are they actually reaching out and finding those energies they actually need to make it work. So it reminds me of so many religious ceremonies I see, which are just on and on and on and on. This and that you got to do, and this and that. But it's without substance. It's words without substance, words without effect. And then people will go through all these rituals and do all these things, and they wonder, wow, nothing changed, nothing happened. Well, because at no point did they actually try to find the magical energies they need, to bring them in and make it work. And so that's why there's so many different ways that that ability is incorporated into Celestine light magic. So what we would do is we would start out, and this is organized. So we found the different components we need. We put them together. We found the angels. We found the words of power. We wrote the actual directions of what we want to happen. And we did it with rhyme by using Rhyme Zone. And now we've put it all together. And of course, the ending, now when we do the three of us together, we say this we command, this we decree by the power of three, so let it be. Obviously, if you're just by yourself, you're not going to be doing the power of three. So you can do it in the name of Elohim, so let it be. And again, you're still in command. You're not asking Elohim to do this for you. You're just doing it in Elohim's name. So you would say, this I command, this I decree in the name of Elohim, so let it be. So that's how you would end
Or
it
by
if
the
you're by
power
yourself.
of divine light, and then have something else that rhymes with light, so let it be.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you
So
can
three,
play with that.
yeah. Right. Okay. So going through again, we would start with the angels, and we would say each one 3 times. We'll just do one for you here, just so you can see. After what happened to my glasses that were right, Peter?
Well,
I set them down right there.
you can put it right here.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I got up. But, okay. Thank you, Sky. All right. So we're going to do Zarbanel, angel of hidden power. So we're going to say it just as if we would do it, and we would do the same thing for all the angels. And Samara, what we do is we say it, we call it in, and then Samara then would speak to Zarbanel, and she would do that for each angel. And so that's what you have to do as well. Once you call in the angel by saying their name 3 times, then they're there, but then you have to tell them what you want. Okay, so
Well, let's tell Zarbanel ahead. It's like kind of, we're practicing here.
well, let's actually do Grozny, because that's an easier one to think about.
Oh,
Angel of self-empowerment. Okay,
okay.
so, and we're doing this to enchant. So we say, Grozanine, 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 please come to us. As we need, so let it be. Grozanine, 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 please come to us. As we need, so let it be. Grozanine, 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 please come to us. As we need, so let it be.
Rosanine, we're so thankful for all that you do in your stewardship of self-empowerment. We're not really calling on you for your help, but we're
Using you as an
using
example.
you as an example for teaching purposes. But the way I would say it in an enchantment is, after I thank him for what he does in his stewardship of self-empowerment, I'd ask him, please
sorry.
make, oh, sorry. Grozanine, please make the energy of your stewardship available, that we can use it for empowering ourselves. We love you.
We're
and we-
empowering the object that we're going
Yeah.
to be imbuing.
and-
Right,
Exactly,
to imbue into this ruby stone.
right.
Or dragon pendant in this
Right.
case. Please imbue your energy of self-empowerment into this dragon pendant.
Obviously, this isn't flowing like it normally does. It's like I go into like a meditation, and so I'm speaking directly to the angel. So I'm feeling very discombobulated right now the way we're doing it. But then I thank them. I always say I love them and appreciate all that they do.
And we all say, so be it.
So be it.
Right.
And the main thing is you're not praying to the angels, you're just talking to the angels. Okay. So after we've gone through all the angels, we come to actually doing the next parts. And to do that, we want to actually call in, because the angels were speaking to living beings, and we're asking them to put their energy in. And so we're finding them by calling their name 3 times and
We're
asking.
making
them-
it available so that then when we say Raksa Bingalai Tormande, it's there.
for us to use.
to
But
put-
now we're going to call in the other energies that aren't from beings, that are just energies. So we start off by saying Raksa Bingalai Tormande, but you have to do that with power. It's not Raksa Bingalai Tormande. It is Raksa Bingalai Tormande. Raksa Bingalai Tormande. Raksa Bingalai Tormande. Power. Important. Let's go ahead and do the next paragraph. We call upon the stewardship angels we have summoned, the etheric energies we command,
and the words of power on high that we specify, and imbue them into these magical mineral dragon carvings as the owners need them to apply.
Okay, so this again, we would go through this entire thing 3 times. And if the first time and the second time that you do it, you may make some mistakes in there. You may say it wrong, you may. So the one of the reasons we do it 3 times is so that by the 3rd time you get it 100% correct. So it's okay if you make a little mistake here or there on the 1st or 2nd go around. Those times are important, even if you don't make mistakes, to be able to call in energy with power. But if you do, it's okay. Just make sure the 3rd time is right. All right, so we're going to go then to the words of power, and we're going to do those 3 times, the whole thing 3 times. But before we do that, the first time and the first time only, we will say what the word is. Now, in this case,
As a description. Of
you know,
what, where the energy.
oh, you don't have the little, we didn't bring the little bits. So we have all of the, oh, Samara has them, okay. No, not,
No.
no,
Which one?
I meant the ones that we actually use in enchantments that are in the 3-ring binders.
Oh,
You don't have
it's
to get them.
upstairs.
So we have, and we've sent, I think, most of you, the 3-ring binders that have the laminated sheets of all of the,
Actually, no, only, I think only 3.
okay, 3 of you have them. That have the laminated sheets of the Words of Power from the Words of Power book. Those are very useful because you can take them out of the 3-ring binder and you can set them up in front of you while you're doing the enchantments, and you can actually see the sigils easily and you can read them. So the very first time, for these ones that are numbered right now, we don't have those to show you, but let's just assume that we had like number 3.
Oh, maybe Sister Dancha, do you have your booklet there that you can? No, she had hers.
right, well,
You
let's-
did yours yourself.
Let's just assume that, okay, she has it, okay. Yeah.
I
So,
have like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything is here, so I can have them more easily.
yeah, that's very useful to do that in a 3-ring binder. I think we sent some of you a 3-ring binder with it already in.
And
But-
we're hoping to get those made into laminated card. That's one of the projects that's on our list one of these years, because it takes money, and we'll have them printed up and put in a box,
Right.
and
All
you'll
the
get those
angels-
eventually.
The angels.
The
and Words
angels
of
as
Power.
well. But for
But-
now,
But for right now, so the object, like this is number 3, the sigil for number 3, Kobakon. And we would have that up there and we'd be looking at it, but we're going to go ahead and use,
in fact, I'll get this.
we're going to go ahead and use the one that we can see what it's for. Ayi, ahia, ayi, ahia. And that's gain more courage. And we would say the first time, we would actually say what it's for, gain more courage. And then we'd say it, ayi, ahia, ayi, that's a hard one. Ahia. And, but then the second and third time that we went through this, we would not say gain more courage again. We would just say the word of power.
Because we already have it in our minds.
What it's for.
What it's for, and our focus is there already, so it just, when you do these 3 times, you'll feel your power build. Because by the 3rd time we go through this whole thing, we don't go through all the angels again, that's just the one time only, and we don't do the Raksa Bingalai again. We just start with, we call upon the stewardship angels and go from there. And by the 3rd time, we've got it down. I mean, our energy is really together, and
Powerful.
we're in a what would you
Groove.
call it, a groove, yeah. And so it's real powerful when we go through our 3rd time saying it, because we do make mistakes on the 1st and 2nd. It's like somebody says something wrong, or we
Or in the wrong
stumble,
cadence,
or
or-
yeah.
Okay, so these are like the 3-ring binders I was talking about here. And these are just from the Words of Power book. But like for number 3, as an example, become more self-confident in power. We can open up the book.
Well, actually, what we do is we take these out, so I'm going.
Oh, yeah, but I was gonna show them the book first. I was gonna show them the book first. Okay. So, wait, so the book has, this is just one, we have to have two books because there's so many. And it has them all in there. So yeah, then we would open up the book and we would go to number 3. And we would take it out.
And these are printed on a heavy stock.
Yes.
So the,
We would take it out and then we'd set it down so we could see it. So that when we were going through the words of power, that would be displayed right in front of us and we could see it. And we would say, we look at the sigil and we read what it's for the first time, become more self-confident and empowered. And then we'd say it in the way you say words of power, where you start almost in a whisper, then a normal voice, and then a louder voice. So we'd say, Quobacan, Quobacan, Quobacan. And then we'd go on immediately to the next one. And we would do the next one, number 57, and the next one, number 80. And when we were all done and we finished that all, we would do the whole thing over again. We don't do the angels over again. We just did them the one time only for the angels. Then we did the Raksa Bingalai Tormani one time only, when the first time we do it. So the 3 times, the things that we do 3 times are all the rest. So we would go on and we'd say again, we call upon the stewardship angels. We call upon the stewardship angels we have summoned, the etheric energies we command, and the words of power on high that we specify,
and imbue them into these magical mineral dragon carvings as the owner needs them to apply.
Okay, then we would say again, the second and third time, the words of power, but we would only say the words of power. We wouldn't say what they're for. So like number 3, we wouldn't say become more self-confident and empowered again. We would just say Quobacan, Quobacan, Quobacan. We go to the next one, number 57, and say whatever that word of power is 3 times. And then we come to the next part. Let's go ahead and do this one time. But we would go through this whole thing that we've written 3 times. And then let me blow it up a little bigger. So
And we do say this, we command this, we decree by the power of 3. So let it be each time, even though you'd think that would just be the ending. But we do all 3 times.
Yeah, so this part we would say 3 times. We're going to just do it once for you right now. We call in and coalesce the following specific energies that as we command, so it shall be to the nth degree. Energy of auric quo. We coalesce, command, and focus. Into these dragon carvings, we imbue your energy, that the owner will have greater courage and self-confidence, able to face any challenge with dominance. Energy of auric whiz. We coalesce, command, and focus. Into these dragon carvings, we imbue your energy, that when needed, the owner will have increased physical strength, stamina, and vitality, that the challenge of any situation will become their desired reality. Energy of auric ka. We coalesce, command, and focus. Into these dragon carvings, we imbue your potential, that as the owner needs mental clarity, it will be upon them with great celerity. Energy of auric ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
okay.
We coalesce, command, and focus. Into these dragon carvings, we imbue your essence. Okay, we say it was messed up first time. That's why you do it 3 times.
Follow the comments.
Right, your
And-
essence. that
But
we just-
energy of auric ooh, is just that, isn't that correct even? I don't remember auric ooh, but okay.
Yeah.
Energy of auric ooh, we coalesce, command, and focus. Into these dragon carvings, we imbue
Your essence. That one with
Second
it.
time messed up. Okay, so we imbue your essence. The comma's over there. Okay,
Let's
try.
start with that.
That was the 3rd time. Here we go. Energy of auric ooh, we coalesce, command, and focus. Into these dragon carvings, we imbue your essence. That within your energy, all the new keys will expand together in synergy. This we command, this we decree by the power of 3, so let it be.
And one thing that you didn't mention in Raksa Bingalai Tormande, that is in the words of power, and that is the only one I'm aware of that we don't start soft and do it like
Right,
that. We
right.
just start it with power and just keep it going all 3 times.
Mhm.
So that's helpful to know that, because otherwise you wouldn't know that.
Right, okay.
You heard it here.
Okay, so here's another one. This was a custom enchantment for someone. I've changed their name. Their name was not Jack. But from time to time, people send us jewelry or objects that they want enchanted for specific purposes. And this gentleman was a security guard in a store. And he's of small stature physically. So he wanted to be able to make sure that when he's in his capacity as a security guard, that even people who are much larger than him and would normally wipe the floor with him if they were in a fight, that they would respect him and not intimidate him, but he in turn would be able to intimidate them as he needed to. So this is a very simple one. It didn't, for what the purpose that he was seeking, it didn't need to have a lot of angels or a lot of words of power, but the ones that are called in were very important. So in this case, for his personal protection purpose, angel of self-empowerment, angel of courage, angel of self-confidence, angel of protection, angel of good judgment, angel of negative energy annulment, angel of hidden power. So good judgment's important too. That's another one, especially when you start dealing with magic. It's easy to think, well, hey, I'm super powered. I got Elohim on my side. I got magic on my side. I don't need to worry about anything. So they become overconfident and they don't use good judgment in their actions. I remember when I was, how old was I then? Well, early 20s. I was in New York City, maybe even teens. I don't know. I was in the Coast Guard, and I just got out of the Coast Guard. I was in New York City, and a hick from the sticks, and big city. And I always heard how you never go in Central Park at night because people get mugged and everything. I don't know, maybe if that's still the way it is or not, but it was back then in the 70s when I was there. They said, that's the most dangerous place you can go at night by yourself, particularly because you'll definitely get mugged. I said, okay, well, I taught wilderness survival. I was in martial arts. I wasn't worried about that. I was overconfident. And I didn't think anybody would bother me anyway. But so I went into Central Park at night just to see what would happen. I started walking around. And sure enough, I hadn't been there more than 5 minutes. I had 2 guys that were right on my tail following me. So I just, it was so funny. I just stepped off the path and went behind a tree. And right at a place where the path forked into multiple directions you could go. And then I watched those 2 guys come, and they were definitely following me because they were stopped at the intersection. They're looking, trying to see which way I went. And because they were city people, it didn't occur to them that somebody might have actually stepped off the trail and gone behind a tree. But anyway, good judgment's important. It probably wasn't my best judgment to go walking in Central Park by myself at night. And I was overconfident because of what I knew. And that's still was not a good judgment to go in there. But anyway, so that was an important angel. Energy of negative energy annulment. People are so self-sabotaging. Naudaxia is a great angel to use to help negate self-sabotage. People, they have all the things they need to succeed, but they don't trust themselves. They don't believe in themselves, and they self-sabotage their own actions.
There is an angel specifically.
Yeah, for that as well. But also, so the negative energy annulment can come from them, or it can come from somewhere else around, where maybe some other person is saying, you can't do this. You're like in this case, you're a little teeny guy. You can't be a security guard, whatever. So this allows that person, by calling in Naudaxia, to not be affected by any kind of negative energy that's thrown at them, either from themselves or from other people, because it's really easy, in the case of this person who's a small person physically, to have people put them down and think that, you can't be a security guard. You're just not big enough to be a security guard. So anyway, going into this then, we only need to use 3 words of power for this. Become more self-confident and empowered, gain more courage, and very important one in his case, make an enemy or attacker afraid of you. That was a big one for him, because he needed to know that when he was out there, that somebody who was bigger and badder than him normally would be intimidated by him in the situation where he was approaching him as a security guard. And then you can read the rest, and it's very simple. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let's see if we have, okay, next thing. Okay, so here's the next thing. Every one of you should start a book of light. And this is my index for my book of light. You don't have to have the same one. But for me, these are the topics that I have in my book of light.
And I'll send
So-
this to you as well.
So when I want to have a spell, and I have a lot of spells here, but it also works for enchantments for the same purpose, is as these things are created, now we have different ones, examples. So we have 2 of these gigantic binders that are full of enchantments that we do for magical gems, and we have 2 of these.
Yeah, and we've divided them. I need to get new tabs for different categories. So when we have, since we do enchantments for magical gems, we have carvings and gems and hearts, and so we've separated it that way, but you could separate them into categories of what the enchantment is doing. So you could have all of your empowerment enchantments in one section, or however you want to organize them. But I can tell you that you will need to organize them in some way as you start creating more and more of them, or you'll never find them again.
Right, and then so that's what we do for magical gems. That's separate, but for actual ones that we use for our personal use, or even ones that may have been for magical gems that we feel that these are things that we want to make sure we keep for future use, that may want to have some similar future use, they go into the book of light, and each person should have their own book of light. Like I said, these are the things that I use for mine. You may have different things, but as I took them the types of spells or the type of magic that they are, and I put spells for all these, but they could be enchantments too. And I have summoning spells, finding spells, banishing spells, healing spells, transforming spells, time spells, protection spells, special power spells, animating spells, affecting spells, potions, scrying, divination, wands, talisman, tools, angels, alchemy, symbology, words of power, rituals and ceremony, negative phenomena, negative entities. And this is for my own knowledge. So this is, I'm showing you the index with you, but I don't share anything that's in the book of light with anyone. This is really personal stuff. So, but these would be my experiences. So for instance, with negative entities, if I have had any experience with negative entities, it's going to be like my little journal here. I'm going to write down what those entities were, how I encountered them, how I dealt with them, what I used to deal with them, what the results were. It's all going to be in that category. If I go up to
Boy, that must be a huge category for you.
If I go-
Book.
If I go up to spells, whatever spells it is, like summoning spells, it's not just like what we just showed you, where we actually showed you the actual spell. In the book of light, there's going to be much more there. In the book of light, it's going to be what was the purpose of the spell? Why was this spell created? What were the circumstances of this spell being created? And then it'll be what the exact directions, if there's things that have to be used, any kind of tools or things that are used, that's all going to be specified in the book of light, down to every detail, so that it's very clear how to do it if someone ever needs to do it again, myself or somebody else who gets my book of light after I pass on. And then again, what are the results? So this is the spell, this was enchantment. What were the results? And was there any modifications that needed to be done? So this is your workbook. This is your working book. It's a record of what you've done. It's a record of what you've tried that has been successful. So you don't put in your failures in here. You work on your failures until you get them to work, and then you put them in your book of light. This is what works. This is what you do for this. This is tried and true. And
Well, that's a good point that you made. Don't expect that everything that you do is going to work perfectly the first time. You know, like everything else, it takes practice. And so you need to practice. If you don't practice, then nothing will happen.
yeah, and it's important to monitor and to be honest with yourself too. It's easy for people who get involved in things that are not easy to be seen or measured, and then think, oh yeah, I succeeded, and they talk themselves into, I succeeded. Well, be honest with yourself. Maybe you didn't succeed. So if you're doing something and you say, well, these are all the things I did. These are the angels I called in. These are the words of power I called in. This is the incantation I said. And so then, did you get results? Did it work? Did what you say happen? Did what you decree happen? And if it didn't, doesn't mean the magic's not there. It means that you did something not right in what you put it together with, how you put it together. So you need to go back and say, well, did I not include an angel that should have been included? Did I not include a word of power that should not have been included? Did I include something that I shouldn't have put in there that was really not appropriate for that purpose? Did I try to put too many things in there that made the energy not focused and concentrated enough so it couldn't actually deliver what I wanted because it was too diffused by too many things I was trying to get it to do? Again, when you're doing a spell or enchantment, the more singular the subject, the more powerful the enchantment. So if you're trying to get your enchantment or spell to do 7 different things, then there's only so much energy available magically, and it's now divided by 7 different purposes. But if it's just one single purpose with one single thing you're doing, then all that magical energy is for that one purpose. It's much more likely to manifest.
In fact, if you had 7 things that you wanted to work on, it would be best to have 7 separate enchantments, which gives you more practice anyway. It takes a lot longer, but Lazarus told us not long ago that as we progress, there are shortcuts, but we need to learn the foundations first.
So I was showing you some simple ones. I'm going to show you a little more complex one here, at least a little more full one. Some of these enchantments take a long time.
Especially with the
Okay, so
Whatever you need, this is a great.
this
enchantment.
this was for a Resplendor quartz crystal cluster enchantment, and this took a long time because its purpose is whatever you need. Well, that's a pretty big purpose. So obviously a lot of different angels had to be called in. And just to call in this many angels 3 times.
Well, this was a good size crystal cluster, as I recall.
yeah.
We don't have it anymore because
we sold it.
right. But it was bigger, had a larger cavity or capacity to
right.
hold.
Well, it had all
energy.
these crystals. I mean, that's powerful when you have a whole group of crystals. So.
But so anyway, this is one that's more complicated because of all the different angels that has to be called in. This probably take at least an hour just to call in all these angels. Wouldn't you say this many?
No.
It seemed like an hour when you're
Yeah, my
standing
guess
there,
is
but-
only half an
I think longer than that. Anyway,
hour. It's time.
make sure you have water when you're doing this many angels so that you don't have to leave and go in the water.
all right. So then we have the standard thing that we say here at the beginning. Some changes here and there, but it's basically the same. Then we have the words of power. And again, if they're in the book, they have a number by them. And then we're going to have that displayed so we can see the sigil and read what it's about. But if it just has asterisks, then those would be words of power that are not in the book. And so we would read what they're for the first time, increase mental clarity. And the second and third time, we would just say the word of power by itself. And in this case, there was no words after that. We said so much with the angels, and we said so much with the words of power, it wasn't necessary to say any rhyming words after that. So we were just able to go directly into this we command, this we decree by the power of 3, so let it be. So again, there's a lot of flexibility in how you do these enchantments and spells. And this is just to give you some examples of them.
Yeah, I mean, ours evolved as we learned more things. So we're skipping over all the things that didn't work for us.
Or that worked, but not as good.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. This is the more powerful formula.
So any questions? I didn't bore you to tears?
No, no questions, no tears. Thank you, dear Rosamond. I would just like to share through these years from everything you told about the books of light and enchantment, and an example of everything that you just spoke. I do, and to show our brothers and sisters of light, how do I do? Maybe it will give them another example, another aspect. So first, to start with what you've said, I have always an extra notebooks to write down first of all, and then when I select, these are all, as you can see, spells written, well, not this, but something another. I didn't like the word, scratch, scratch, scratch. And when I'm finished, everything, I have a bunch of these notebooks, so I can keep writing until I have the perfect rhyme, the perfect spell, the perfect angels. And it is like a chart, like a map. So I don't show them because they do have an angel names and words of powers and spells. I always keep them safe. And when I'm finished, I have a special book. I don't have so much spells and enchantments now, so I have a different notebook for everything. So this is my book of light for spells and enchantments. And I have, see, enchantment number 9, everything written here with beautiful handwriting. Everything I summoned from your site. For every single enchantment I went through and written down every single angel that you have used, and written down every single word of power from the explanation. So I have everything here in this book. Once, yes, enchantment number 15, all the angels, the rhyme, words of power, and everything. So this is my notebook for enchantment and spells. And then I have another beautiful notebook.
That is
Cool.
Is that wood?
Yeah, it's like, and no, it's actually leather, but I bought it many years ago. So it's from Turkey. It looks like an old man.
Yeah.
So here,
Yeah.
yeah. This is my book of light. So here I write every single dream and visions I get while meditating and dreaming. And here I have every single angel and word of power through the years you have spoken.
Wow.
So everything is here. And then I have hours book of light, this, where I write every single thing happening in our family of light for future generations. And then I have a Celestine Vibronics special book, notebook.
We have to
everything
is-
we have to fill that one up still.
Yeah, we kind of gone off.
Yeah, I have, when every time I do enchantment is a special occasion for me. It takes me 2 weeks to prepare, to write everything until I gather everything I need. And then I dress beautifully. It's a special occasion. I usually do it at night when everybody in the building is asleep. So a lot of light, artificial, but a lot of light. And then I have laminated my angels, oops, all my angels. I have them laminated from the book. So I just spray them on a round carpet, round white carpet. So this is my white field with a white candle. and all my tower crystals, my wand crystals around it. And I just prayed this and the words of power that I showed. And then I sit in a relaxed position, having my water beside me, and then I start. And it's magical every time that I call upon angel and just give them the gem or the mineral or the jewelry that I need to enchant. I feel like they are putting their hands on. My hands are doing like this, like they are putting their hands enchanting and imbuing the mineral. It's quite wonderful. Every single angel has its own pressure, and I can feel the feminine energy from the feminine angels and the masculine energy from the masculine angels. Some say it's done, and the other just stay and speak to me and whistle a ray. He's there all the time until I'm done. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful experience. I love doing an enchantment. I have here in my cupboard, if you can see here, minerals. Oh, minerals. I don't know if you see it.
Yes.
I see a
yeah.
cup of minerals. Is that? what-
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
very nice.
Yes. And here, so people can choose.
Wow, you have a lot of nice ones.
And yeah, and I have here in as a pendant or something that I can use. So I'm full prepared for a beautiful enchantment.
Can't wait to do some with you in person.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, it took me a bit longer, but I was so thrilled. I wanted to show you.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Sharing, Dansha.
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
for
special.
sharing,
Thank you,
Dansha.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anybody else?
Maybe I can inspire someone.
Oh, you
Yeah,
inspired.
Yeah, you
you-
inspired me.
you,
Get
you
my
inspired
stuff
me
together.
now. I'm gonna do some enchantments. You inspired me because I wasn't really interested in doing enchantments, but seeing this lesson and seeing what you showed, Sister Dansha, I'm inspired to do some. I have a dragon jade that was given to me. I have a couple of dragon jades. I'm going to enchant them and use that. It's actual jade, from China, from my grandmaster who gave me. So I have like 3 or 4 of them. So I'm gonna enchant them, and I'm gonna see what's gonna be with that. I already have some angels are telling me exactly what they need, what they want, what they would like to be used for that. I already did. The angels coming to me right now. Use me, use me, use me, use me. I was like, okay. I said, all right. So
Yeah, well, the
Awesome.
thing is, the angels are so wonderful to work with because especially when we do enchantments and we spend that time with them, calling each one individually, you feel them when they come in. At least we all have our different way of sensing them, and you're so uplifted, and we all just expand when we talk with the angels. Angels are just so wonderful to speak with one-on-one or in a group, like when we do them. And yeah, I can't say that enough to people, to call on angels, especially call on your guardian angels every single day. Talk to your guardian angels, if it's only to say, thank you for being my guardian angel. I love you. You don't have to ask them things or even try to always get answers from them. Just talk to them every day. That's very powerful and will connect you more strongly.
And a side benefit, as Brother Reggie was talking about, he wasn't that interested in doing enchantments.
Yeah.
But something that happens when you do the enchantment, it's like taking a drug, because what do you call where it makes you feel euphoric. It
Yeah,
just,
it puts you in a high.
yeah,
a high
you're high,
state.
you're
Yeah.
high when
Yeah.
you,
And you do it without drugs.
right,
What's healthy?
right, it's a healthy high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah, working with the angels, it's special. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that we've been given that's a very special opportunity to
Yeah,
communicate
and
with
I
higher beings.
just have to mention, to me, it was funny, but yet sad. I had this lady, she was just 80 years old and very knowledgeable in many things, very opinionated lady. And she was someone that I cleaned for. And I said, let's see, I don't remember which way it came about. First, she was telling me she'd had a friend who wanted to use her house to have an angel group. And because she said her friend says that she talks to the angels and she wanted to have a group that she was going to work with. And she said, oh, I wouldn't let her do that. And, she didn't believe that anybody could talk to angels. And then I told her that she knew Jesse. So I told her Jesse.
Well, he had also cleaned. So it's like we're in these positions of, we're low.
But-
We're low on the
But this-
totem pole.
But this wouldn't affect that because I told her that he had a book out about angels and how to speak to them and how to hear them and listen to them. And she says, she comes right over into my face and she said, because she liked me, we got along great, but she said, and she put her hand on my arm, are you telling me that Jesse can speak to angels? And I kind of like, I don't know what I said.
Yes.
And I said, well, I guess we all have different things that we believe in. But I was like, she got really like hot about it.
Hostile.
So I
feeling.
just backed right off and got out of that subject. But it's like, whoa, she just absolutely was adamant that no one could speak to angels. So it's interesting, very interesting. Okay,
And
Go ahead, Sister Dancha.
I would just like to add, it's beautiful shopping for minerals also. When you shop for minerals to do a future enchantment, from all the lessons we learn about colors, about minerals, about the molecular structure Brother Ambrosevin has on the mystical school of magic there. It's beautiful, and you look at from all these minerals and you say, this molecular structure, I feel so knowledgeable when buying the minerals for future enchantments. Oh, this I can use for that, this I can use for that. This is how I bought all these minerals. Maybe they are not much, but they are enough where I hope I can use them all for enchantments. And it's beautiful when you shop thinking about all the qualities you need to know, all the colors. You need to be very knowledgeable about picking up a mineral for an enchantment. This also gives you another week or two. So the whole process is beautiful. 1 month you have so much thinking, so much playing with energies, so much knowledge to figure out what mineral, what color, what shape of the mineral you have to use. Should it be carved or not? It's a beautiful project and it involves magic.
Yeah, and we can't wait to take you all to this store that we go to. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away. We took Brother Kiel there, but now they've tripled the size of that store. They've
In Mount Shasta.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's 1, 2, they bought 4 storefronts and they've opened the walls and combined it. And they have the one room with just gongs and
One room with crystals and one room with clothing and one room with
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
I mean,
all things metaphysical and spiritual, and they kind of cover everybody's different interests. It's a pretty awesome. It's the biggest store I've ever been in, and I've been in all the crystal stores in Sedona, And they're pretty cool, but there's nothing that compares to this one in Mount Shasta that we've ever been to.
And right around the corner from that one is another one that's just
It's more like a museum.
Yeah, but anyway, but I want to show you one other quick thing on the that I put here in this.
Oh, well, he's doing that. We've tentatively set a date for our marriage on 6th. So start practicing using the tincture now. We're planning on somewhere around the middle of January, because that time frame is when hopefully the war will be less, because it'll be too cold. And because Trevelyan spends his days still over in Russia or Ukraine, and it's very draining and very what he has to experience and see is a lot of death, a lot of trauma to his soul.
So anyway,
We want to have
we're
least amount of disruption.
Yeah, we're hoping that around the end of January, which is the middle of winter there, that things will be less warring, because it's too cold for anybody to want to fight. So they'll kind of just hunker down, and there'll be less things to be worrying about, hopefully. So that's kind of why we're scheduling the wedding on 6th for that time frame. And there's going to be something special about that we want everyone to look for, right?
Right. So
Something I need-
basically, the more you practice with traveling with your night self, especially to 6, but anywhere,
Yeah.
and remembering it.
Courseline has to be taken to Courseline. That's our
Yeah.
home.
But and the more you practice with just traveling at night, asking your guardian angels, or if you have anyone else that takes you places to travel someplace, and then bring back that memory, that's going to help you. Because then when we all together, travel for this wedding, we'll be able to make probably most people will be able to remember it and recall what's going on. So yeah, these things are special, but it's like, it's another aspect of our life that we're not too aware of. And so I know I tend to put it off, and I get tired at night sometimes, and I just go to sleep rather than think to call in anything or anyone. And so, yeah, just a reminder.
To put together your rituals or your what inspires you.
Okay, so that is all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions or comments, then this would be a great time to add them.
Now I have a lot of homework. I love this. Thank you for sharing all this information with us.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Sister Laylee.
Yes. I love my name. I love it. Eventually I'll change my name to that.
Well, for now, change, like I said, change it on Zoom and change it on Kiwi, and then everybody will know what to call you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That would
Yeah,
definitely
I
help.
will. It will help.
Anybody else want to add anything, comments, questions?
I want to say thank you to Sister Laylis for your comment.
Oh,
Thank you for that. That was humbling. So I appreciate that. I don't know if you want to share it with everybody else, but I wanted to thank you for
please,
that.
please
No, you
share.
can. No, you could do it. No,
you
no.
share.
Yeah.
You share it.
So,
Please share it.
so I was very honored and humbled. What happened is that I think you were going through some stuff.
Yes.
And she was doing her meditation. In the meditation, I mean, she was there's a lot of anxiety going on, a lot of turmoil and stuff like that, right? I'm just saying, just
Yes.
feeling, right? Yep.
Yes.
So she sat down in her meditation, and she asked Elohim for guidance in her meditation. All right. And then when she asked Elohim for guidance, she saw me.
Yeah, I saw him.
Um,
He was in a red outfit, like a master, and we sat face to face. And it was just so peaceful and calming.
Right.
We
So,
meditate.
yep. Yeah. So I'm sorry, sister. So
No, yeah, share it, share it.
so Elohim was basically letting her know that to reach your inner peace and calmness, this is what it looks like. This is how it looks like. And then that when she told me about that, I was so touched because I was so touched. I was so humbled, and I was like, wow, and that's why I want to say thank you, because that really touched it really did. So I just want to share that with everybody. Thank you.
That's special.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
special.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We are here.
It's humbling for us both, very humbling for us both. It's an honor, very
It's
honorable.
one of the blessings of being active in our group is that we are a family of light, and family helps family, and that can be directly in person or through visions or any number of wonderful ways that Elohim provides for us to help each other.
Yeah. And I have a quick question, if you don't mind,
Please.
Dr. Brosman. So I'm rereading the oracles again. I'm gonna keep rereading it until I transition.
Well,
Right?
isn't it amazing how many times we read? It's like, wow, it's like the first time. There's so many new things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it'll
Yes.
always be that way.
Yeah.
Yes. More information, more knowledge, more
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
So I was rereading it, and I was reading the book of Genesis. Right? I was reading the section where Adam and the Edenites were discussing about getting knowledge, touching from knowledge, right? Where Elohim says to not to really what they have is good enough until they master what they have. But all the Edenites were basically, like we could try this knowledge, we could take this knowledge and get this information. And well, and I'm just kind of curious, right? Was the knowledge, it didn't specify, I don't know if I missed that, maybe Sister Danja could help me too. It didn't specify,
Mm.
but was this knowledge something physical? Was this because usually, in a religious Catholics, it's the tree, right? It's this tree, right? But I didn't quite pick up exactly what this message was from Elohim, not to, you know, touch this, or not to seek more of this, because you already have what you have until you're ready. What was that?
You're talking about the tree of knowledge of good and evil?
Mhm.
Is that I didn't think it was specified like that in the book of in the Genesis, in the Oracle.
Let me
Which
let me
chapter?
look at it.
Yeah,
sections.
yeah. Sister Danja, maybe you could help me with that, because I know you're good with that. So
Yeah, I believe it's chapter 3.
yeah,
I believe it's chapter 3.
I should
The
have wrote it
Garden
down.
of
I'm sorry.
Eden. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
what verses?
So
Hold on. Let me see. I have it. Hold on. I have it. A second. You know what? Let me look for it, and next time we could talk about it, brother.
I'm right
let me do
here.
that.
I'm on
Okay.
it right now. So
Let me
so
see.
okay, so this is where
If I
Lucifer
may
is trying to mislead them. I think it's this where you're referring to. So
yeah, the
Yes.
only
Yes.
time,
Yes.
yes, the only time Elohim speaks about knowledge in all the Genesis
Yeah.
is where first Lucifer tells them that Elohim just wanted them to tempt them if they will gain knowledge by themselves, not to be fed upon knowledge. The only time they speak about knowledge is before they eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And after that, Elohim the Father explains them, and in that he already told them that they the mother and the father will give them knowledge one by one as soon as they are able to have more knowledge. They didn't tell that they will not feed them from the fruits of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, but they told them, we will give you knowledge whenever you are ready to have more knowledge. We didn't say we won't give you. Why did you fall for Lucifer's words? We never said you will not get every single fruit. We just said you will get it in a row, one knowledge after another knowledge. But no, Adam and his two friends, male friends, they said, oh, well, listen to Lucifer, he knows better. And there they fell into their own darkness.
So,
That's
so
right.
quick,
Verse 72 is that key verse right there. But in disobeying the commandment of Elohim, they gained
Mhm.
knowledge before they understood how to use it wisely.
mhm,
Learned of evil before they were prepared to defend against it. So that's so
Mhm.
the knowledge. So the knowledge, the tree of, it's not just a tree of knowledge; it's a tree of knowledge of good and evil. And so
Okay.
that's the key thing, is that, and that
Mhm.
this verse 72 explains it, that they
Mhm.
gained knowledge about anything before they understood how to use it.
right.
They gained knowledge of evil before they were prepared to defend against it. So it's as Sister Don just said, you know, Elohim's intention, and even what we do here in our Celestine Light lessons, is line upon line, precept upon precept, layer upon layer. And this is how we build the building. And it is strong because it's built upon a step-by-step foundation that as we gain some knowledge, that knowledge then gives us a foundation for the next level of knowledge. And same thing for the knowledge of evil. Is there's a lot of evil out there in the world, and if someone's just innocent and they don't know anything about it, they're easy to get sucked into it, easy to get misled by it, easy to get fooled by it, easy to get hurt by it. But someone who has more experience and understands it more, they're prepared for it. They don't get fooled by it. They don't get
Because I
hurt by
don't
it.
believe they even knew who Lucifer.
Well, they didn't even know that's why they went from being naked, and that was no problem
Right.
being naked.
Right.
They were innocent of that now all of a sudden they had this knowledge. Well, hey, there's a sexual connotation to this, and
Mhm.
you know, so now they needed to clothe themselves and stuff. So
And
Yeah.
they were feeling things that they weren't.
that they weren't supposed to feel, but they shouldn't have been feeling for somebody
have
else's wife or
control
something.
over.
So brother and Rosen, so there was an actual tree, is that correct? A tree of good and evil, right?
I have
There-
seen the tree
Yeah,
in my visions.
there was a
both
tree.
trees.
Yeah, there was a
Okay.
tree,
Yeah, and
and there was a
exactly,
there
and
was
I
a
have
fruit on the
seen.
tree. So yeah, it's more than just a metaphor.
Okay, so it's an actual tree. Got it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
one thing I'm sure, every single word isn't a metaphor. Everything that Yeshua wanted to be said, it
Mhm.
said plainly.
Mhm.
Because if you remember, Yeshua says, Elohim the Father and the Mother, Elohim, they speak plainly. So when the day of the judgment is here, for you cannot say, oh, that I didn't know, or that I didn't understood. There is no metaphor. If they say there is a tree, there is a tree. If they say there is a tree with all kinds of fruit, there is a tree with all kinds of fruit. There is only one time in the oracles when Yeshua speaks with stories for the Sadducees and the Pharisees.
The parables, right?
The parables, yeah.
Yes.
This is the only time he speaks of metaphor, because he didn't want his pearls to be crushed by swines, by pigs. So with the parables, this is only why, because he said to his apostles, I don't want to give them gems of knowledge to them. They wouldn't appreciate it, and they will fire back to me. So this is the only time, but there are 2 trees, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil has all different kind of beautiful and very, very colorful fruits. And from chapter 3, as Brother Roseman says, you must first have theory so you can have a proper application of what you know. You just don't go into the darkness without knowing how to fight it. But there is also an important lesson from verse 46 to verse 49, chapter 3 Genesis. Then Adam said unto him, we are but babes upon this land, and Elohim teaches us only those things which give us a necessary foundation to spring up to new knowledge from which we can further grow and expand. As we firmly gain one step, we are prepared with faith to take the next, and are then given more light and knowledge from Elohim. Thus we grow step by step, keeping the warm embrace and counsel of our heavenly parents, while encouraged to reach further and higher and become more than we are without risking all that we have. So if we do not go step by step, we are risking all that we have, for it would be foolish and reckless to reach for a higher step without the foundation of a lower. Sometimes we would be lucky and not fail, but as the sun rises, so there would be soon come a day when we would not be so lucky and would fall into an emptiness that knows no solace.
Thank you.
This
Introduction.
is when
Right.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
This is
Thank you.
Adam the prophet speaking to his brothers who were so curious that led them to the fall of the island of Eden. This time the curiosity does kill the cat.
Yeah, well, it's really
Yes.
surprising too, with Adam as the prophet, that he also was fooled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dragged
yeah.
down.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I just want to get that clarification. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, I
Thank you.
think we've probably had enough for today. So I think we will bid adieu to everyone except for the three apostles. Mr. Lalith, we will say goodbye to you till next
And
week.
Brother Tom.
And Brother Tom and
Love and light.